Hi, I want to speak with you about dressing for a headshot. I'm also going to speak with you in this video about what to do with your hands. That's why I was waving them, because one of the things that I've heard from a lot of headshot subjects is, what do I do with my hands? So let's talk about dressing for success, which can be a wide range of what that looks like, as well as what to do with your hands. I'm not going to talk a lot about RTP photo and video and me personally at the moment. I'll share that at the end of the video. I am going to interject some things related to me personally when it comes to headshots. For example, I've personally done thousands, and I mean thousands, of individual headshots over the course of my photography career. So I can speak from experience when I'm talking about dressing and what to do with your hand. So one of the things about dressing is what to wear. I think a lot of that has to do with what field you're in. A lot of times people are coming to us wanting to update their LinkedIn headshot. So if you're in the market looking for a job, you may truly want to think about dressing your best for success. Now, I'm not a coat and tie guy. What you see right here, with the exception of an occasional sports jacket, is pretty much about as dressy as I get. But if you're in a field like you're a CPA, attorney, something like that, you're definitely going to want to think about, for a male, the coat and tie option; for a female, a nice blouse. And then, like I said, if you're in the job market, even if you're not a tie guy as a general rule, you may want to consider having the tie on as an option to be at your ultimate dress for success. Now, if you have that field, if you're in a field like, say, maybe engineering, that might not be a coat and tie type job, that might be just, a nice dress shirt, then you don't have to go overboard all the time with your approach to dressing for success, because dressing for success is going to look different for some people than others. It could be as simple as a polo shirt. I mean, if you think your industry will get by, if you're an IT tech and sitting at a cubicle and that works for your industry, that may be fine. But what you want to do is think about having this done professionally, so that no matter what you're wearing, the image is going to be well lit, it's going to look good. So let's transition into some of the grooming stuff. You're going to want to make sure that your hair is right. And what that means, for men especially, is do not get a haircut the day before your headshot session. You want to have a little bit longer gap than a headshot the day before, especially if you're in the summertime and your hair's grown out a little bit and you've been out at the sun at the beach over the weekend, and then you get you're going to have your headshot done on Tuesday and you get your haircut on Monday and you have those tan lines. You don't want to do that. For ladies, it's not uncommon for women to do two things. One, either hire somebody the day of, maybe working with the studio, for hair and makeup, or have their own connections where they're going to get their hair and/or hair and makeup done and then come over to the studio. But in most of those cases, they're not actually getting a haircut or a hair trim. They're just getting their hair done and their makeup done, so that not only the way they're dressed is successful, but the way they're looking. For women, you do not want to over-accessorize. Think about, if you have on big earrings, big necklace, that type of stuff, how it's going to take away from you personally. The reality of it is, the star is your face. Whether you're a man or a woman, it's your eyes, your smile, those type of things that are important, not what you're wearing accessory-wise. Try to stay away from busy patterns. For men, one of the things that they can get by with a little bit busier pattern is maybe on a tie. So they got a solid jacket on, a solid shirt, but they get a little fancy with their tie. For ladies, I'd be real cautious on wearing something around the neck that has a lot of patterns and a lot of flowers. A lot of times it's better to stick with solid colors. Speaking of colors, what are the best colors? Well, typically you want to try to avoid, if I was up here in front of you with just a white shirt on with no coat, no tie, that's probably not the best choice. But a white shirt with a blazer on, maybe that a lady would wear, or a jacket that a man would wear, can definitely work. So what you want to do generally is think about solid colors, and there's nothing wrong with going a little more vibrant. You may not want to go so deep that it takes away from you personally, but you could wear like a navy blue that's going to pop more, or you could wear maybe a red that's going to pop more, and consider those. One of the things to think about when you're working with a professional photographer is, can you change outfits? Are you able to do a second look? That way you can decide after the fact, if you want to choose the one with the coat and tie, or you want to choose the one that's a little more casual with the tie off. Men can get by with that simple, something as simple as that, whereas ladies might have to change the blazer color or their blouse. They might do one blouse in this color and another blouse in another color. So there's multiple ways to come across with what you want to project when it comes to dressing for success with your headshot. Again, that doesn't mean you have to be black tie dressed to have a successful headshot video. I think the lighting, the consistency, whether it looks like it was professionally done or with your phone, plays into just as important of a role as the clothes that you wear. Again, like I said, for me, I'm not a coat and tie guy, so just this shirt that's a button down is probably about as fancy as I'm going to get most of the time. That's just who I am, and hopefully the clients that I work with will accept that and want to work with me, because even at corporate events, I am not putting on a coat and tie as a general rule to photograph corporate events. Let me share something funny with you. As you can see in this same video, I'm in a different shirt. What I did is change shirts and then realize that I never spoke with you about hands, and I want to go ahead and talk about posing as well. So we're inserting this into the video where I spent time talking about dress for success, but I never got back to the hands that I mentioned early on in the video. So a lot of people ask me what to do with hands. Well, if you're doing a traditional headshot, a lot of times the hands are just going to typically be kind of like just relaxed by your side, and a lot of headshots are just kind of, you know, one shoulder this way, one shoulder that way. You can do straight on headshots. You can even do stuff like crossing your arms. This video doesn't go down to my pockets, but you can slip your hands into your pockets. And if you notice, I just kind of got a casual look where I slip my hands into my pocket. Now, the thing about this is, you know, I bent one knee, put my hands in my pocket. People say, what do I do with my hands? A lot of times for a traditional headshot, is they're not thinking about it's only like from the chest up. That's why they're saying, what do I do with my hands? Then sometimes they do realize, hey, it's just an upper body work, you know, area shot, but what should I do with my hands? And I find that if you can relax your arms and hands and just kind of get loose, it will make you more comfortable in your pose. And speaking of posing, what you want to do is have that pose look too unnatural, because there are ways. I mean, I started doing photography in the 80s, and so I remember how the portraits looked back in those days, where they looked too posed, you know, with people leaning on their hands and just looking all serious. And I like the fact, like right now, I'm just going to turn. I've just slipped my hands in my pockets. I let one leg kind of go down. I let my knee bend, and I've just kind of got my shoulders relaxed. Now, I don't know how relaxed I look, but I will tell you that I'm as relaxed, probably more so than I've been at any point in this video, based on the position of my hands and the position of my body and how I feel right now. I feel pretty confident in the position. So what you want to do when you're working with a photographer is don't let them overly pose you. You know, try to get very natural. So your hands should be natural. Let them lay beside your side. Slip them in your pocket if you can. If you want to cross your arms for a photo, just keep in mind, if you're not smiling and you look really serious, then, you know, that may not be the image you want to project. So be careful about crossing your arms. So what to do with your hands, a lot of times, is just relax them by your side. Just try to be very relaxed overall when it comes to posing. Try not to think too much about overly posing. You probably have natural positions. Again, I'm still in that natural position of my hand in my pockets. You know, one knee is bent, one leg's kind of down straight, and I feel very comfortable speaking with you right now. I almost feel like I'm talking to you in a general conversation, which is another way to think about it. If you're standing there talking to somebody, how are you going to be posed? How are your hands going to be? Now, you may talk with your hands like I do, so, you know, you got to be careful of that, but just try to put yourself in a situation that you feel very relaxed, very comfortable in. Maybe even think about, like, I'm getting my picture taken. How do I want to pose? What do I want to project? Well, think about something fun. Think about how good you want to look to your significant other, and doing, you know, not overly stress about it. So if you're working with the right photographer that has experience doing a lot of headshots, then you're going to come away with a shot that's going to look like the real you. And that's what you really want to do in the end. So again, added a different shirt. I forgot to talk about hands. Threw it into this video. Now I'll end the video with talking more about RTP Photo and Video and me personally. Hi, I want to tell you a little bit more about RTP Photo and Video. We are a commercial photography and corporate video production company located in Raleigh, North Carolina. But the other thing that I want to mention is about me personally. I'm actually a Raleigh area native. I was actually born in Raleigh, born and raised in Raleigh. My first studio in Raleigh was probably over 30 years ago now. I fell in love with photography, got a camera in 1981 for Christmas. While I was still in high school in 1982, I started making money doing high school sports for a local newspaper. So I've had the photography bug in my life for many years. On a more personal level, I've been married to Brenda since 1989. We have 2 adult children. And for me personally, I've lost over 100 pounds and I became a runner. So I just wanted to share a little bit about the company as well as a little bit about me personally and hope that resonates with you. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment on this video and check out our website below. Have a fantastic day.